Hello, Stampers. Thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm a little late to the party on the cross cards for Easter, but better late than never, right? So what I'm doing here is adding some Post-it tape to the front of a card panel of basic white Stampin' Up! Paper, wonderful for stamping on, and creating a cross that will be a mask for the cross that I'm going to stamp around. The pieces that I have added are 4 1/4 by 3, and I'm going to be stamping around the cross, starting out with Painted Lavender stamp set. I'm using the long thin leaves. This is a photopolymer stamp, so I'll be using the foam pad, which will help you get a better image. And I will be using soft seafoam ink, just kind of auditioning where I want that stamp to go. I saw something, a commercial card that looked quite similar to this. Actually, if you Google cross cards, you see a lot of cards done with the cross seems to be masked, or there's flowers all the way around it. They're very beautiful. So I saw one that was done in these sorts of colors, and I thought the color combination was just gorgeous. Now using the two-tone flora for the leaf. This leaf image has a lovely curve to it, and these are going to look really nice together because the one from Painted Lavender is sort of wispy, and this one's a little more solid. So I'm going to be stamping in Lost Lagoon. Just wanted to see how that color looked. And I'm making sure that I'm not stamping up the entire stamp so that I don't accidentally go to the other side of the cross. And I realized that I'm going to need more leaves and more leaves. So have you made a card like this? And if so, how did it turn out? Do you love this technique? This is actually the second time I've done it. I watched Ruth from Artful Stamping do a large 12 by 12 cross this way several years ago, and I tried my hand at it. Actually, it wasn't a masked off cross. It was an actual cross made from paper, but it was really large and stamped all around it. So I'm using like the smallest full flower from the two-tone flora, and I like to stamp the outline, and it's kind of a faint outline. It doesn't go all the way around, as you can see, because it's easier for me to line up a lighter color on top of the darker. And this lines up really nicely right there in the middle. It has like this little heart shape, and that's pretty easy to line up the two stamps, except for that one right there I didn't do too carefully. I did, however, have to stand up to do this stamping. I know that it looks kind of odd right now, but trust me, when the Post-it tape is removed, it's going to be stunning. So I need some more greenery to go all the way around the cross so that the cross image will show up nice and distinct. So I'm using soft seafoam again with the small leaves from Two-Tone Flora, which I believe is retiring. So you got to get it before it goes away. All of the products that I am using on this card will be linked below the video. And I hope that if you are wanting to grab one of these stamps, that you will shop with me in my online Stampin' Up! Store. That would be greatly appreciated, as well as thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. Those little things are really helpful to those of us who are trying to host a YouTube channel. So the cross card is deeply personal for me. The cross represents that Jesus gave his life so that we may have forgiveness for our sins and not have to pay the penalty of our sins. And so Good Friday, which is tomorrow at the time I am doing this, will be very special. We'll be going to the church to go through Stations of the Cross and also participating in the 3-day read through the Bible. I think you're just going to love this when you see it. Yay, isn't that beautiful? And then I'll be singing in the Good Friday service tomorrow night. Really looking forward to it. Should be quite lovely. So this stamp is from, oh yeah, it was from Adoring Hearts. And that stamp is in the mini catalog right now in early 2024, but it is not retiring. It's carrying over to the annual catalog. And I used soft seafoam to stamp that rose image. And then there's a smaller flower, so I'm just extending that image a little longer in the middle of the cross. Decided against that one. So this panel, I didn't check it before I started stamping, but it actually is 4.25 by 5.5, which is the same size as my card. So I'm just taking 1/8 of an inch off all the way around each edge so that when I put this on a Coastal Cabana card base, it will have a nice border around it. By the way, those flowers were done in Pretty Peacock, the outline, and Coastal Cabana was the flower. So I'm using 4 kind of bluish greenish colors that turned out. I thought the combination was really great. So I'm just gluing this on. Aside from, I know this is not very simple stamping, but other than that, the card is really simple, just 2 layers. And I decided to go back and add some dots. So I'm using the dot stamp from Quiet Meadow, which is retiring. I'm super sad because I'm sad to see those dots go. So I'm using Lost Lagoon and only inking up about half of those dot stamps. I'm trying to get it all the way around the entire cross. And lastly, I will be stamping a greeting. Isn't that beautiful? Those colors and those stamped images. So, so pretty. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. So I'm using Easter lilies, which is retiring, to stamp He is Risen right across the center of the cross. I'm going to stamp that in Pretty Peacock. Just making sure I can get it straight. So, remembering his sacrifice tomorrow on the cross, but looking forward to Sunday because we know that he is risen. I have put my faith in him, and I hope